How's it going? Dave here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking all about why the major 6 chord is awesome. I think the major 6 chord is a really underused and underappreciated chord. It can really make your chord progression sound a little bit nicer if you use them a bit more often. So what I'm going to do is show you how to play the major 6 chord with the root on the 6th, 5th and 4th strings. And then I'm going to show you 3 different scenarios where you might want to use a major 6 chord. So let's get started. In the key of C, our one chord, C major, consists of a root, 3rd and 5th, C, E and G. And all we have to do to turn it into a major 6 chord is add the 6th, which is A. So our chord is C, E, G and A. So let's take a look at how to play that. So with the root on the 6th string, what we're going to do is play the 8th fret of the low E string with our middle finger, skip the A string, play the 7th fret of the D string with our index finger, then play the 9th fret of the G string with our little finger, and the 8th fret of the B string with our ring finger. That's what the chord sounds like. Now if we move on to the A string, having the root on the A string, for a C major 6 chord, what we're going to do is we're going to play an A minor chord and place our little finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. So we're going 3, 2, 2, 1. We're going to avoid playing the high E string. And that is a C major 6 chord with the root on the 5th string. With the root on the 4th string, 10th fret of the D string with our index finger, that's the C. Then we're going to play 12 on the G string, 10 on the B string, and 12 on the high E string. And we have a C major 6 chord. And of course, those shapes move up and down the fretboard to adjust to whatever chord you're playing and whatever key you're playing in. So now that you know how to play the major 6 chord, let's take a look at its application. The first application would be over any major chord in your chord progression. Chords 1, 4 and 5 in your keys, so in the key of C, C, F and G, can all be made into major 6 chords, which is pretty awesome. I find that sometimes it sounds better than using a major 7 chord, which is more commonly used. So you just have to experiment and see where it works. But let's just try in an example chord progression. We're going to use C, F and G. And we're going to turn them all into major 6 chords now. There you go. It sounds a little bit jazzy, sounds pretty cool, I think. And another example where you may want to use a major 6 chord is when the root note of your chord is played in the melody. So for example, if you're playing a major 7 chord, C major 7, okay? You've got a B note there. And if the C, the root note of the chord, is in the melody, then you get this clashing between the B and the C because they're a semitone apart. Sometimes it can kind of sound cool if you're looking to add some tension to your chord progression, but generally you don't want these clashing notes in your chord. So a good solution is to play a major 6 chord, and then that major 6 does not clash with the C in the melody. The third scenario where you might want to use a major 6 chord is using a 7/6 suspension. And if you don't know what suspensions are, I have made a video on suspensions there. But basically what we do is we kind of add tension to a chord by adding a note into the chord and then resolving it by taking that note away. So what we're doing is a 7/6 suspension. So what we're doing is we're playing a C major 7 chord and resolving the 7th down to the 6th. So let me show you how we can do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to play our C major 6 chord like that, with the root on the low E string. And what we're going to do is we're going to place our little finger on the D string and try and bar the D and G strings with our little finger at the 9th fret. So we've got a C major 7 chord there. And then what you can do is take your little finger off the D string, and we've got the C major 6 chord, and it sounds pretty cool. So the 7/6 suspension is a nice little addition you can add into your chord progressions. It creates a bit of melody within the chord itself, so it can spice things up a little bit. Suspensions and major 6 chords are something I talk about in my book Chord Charisma. So if you want the first 2 chapters of that book where you learn how to create a basic chord progression and add extensions like the 6th, 6/9 chords, 7th chords, 9th chords, 11th chords, and 13th chords with all the shapes, you can get that for absolutely free. Head to the description and you can grab the first 2 chapters of my book for free. If you enjoyed this video, please click like. Let me know what you thought in the comments and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you're notified every single time I release a new video. I don't know why I'm pointing that way because the subscribe thing's down there. I will catch you in the next video. See you later.